out of town. She's at a Thursday, Friday, Saturday thing.
Oh,
I've
All
never.
right, so I guess I'm going to hit the gavel.
Woohoo!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our second Toastmaster meeting of the year already, right? So hopefully everyone's doing great today. And we're ready for a good meeting today. All the roles are filled, so we're going to go from there. So let's start with our joke master to start with Justin. You're being the joke master today, so we'll start with a little bit of excitement to begin.
right. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. If you ever get locked out of your house, just talk to your lock really nicely. I've heard communication is the key. I told my contractor I didn't want carpet on my stairs. He just gave me a blank stare.
Encore!
Those were good.
Thank you, Justin.
Punished today.
All right, so at this point, we are going to introduce roles. Let's start with, excuse me for a second. All right, so starting with timer. And the timer is going to be Buffy. Am I introducing your role?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. As timer, I will be timing.
Woo.
And you're giving a talk, and it's a
5 to 7.
5 to 7 minutes. So at 5 minutes, at 5.5, at 6 minutes, and at 7 minutes. Those are the warnings. As far as table topics, it's 1 minute, 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. And the evaluator is 1 minute, 1.5, 2 minutes. I believe that's covers the whole thing. I better get my timing device out.
Thank you, Buffy.
Well presented, I know. I'm so eloquent.
Woohoo.
All right, next we're gonna have the grammarian, and that is Justin. Am I introducing yourself?
Oh, absolutely.
You forgot, huh?
I did. My role as a grammarian is I'm going to listen for good speech usage and also going to listen for filler words such as so, and also improper word usage. I'm also going to do a word of the day, and I'm going to talk really slow until
We don't know what it is yet.
I find THEWRD of the day.
Very good.
Word of the day is cloying.
Oh.
Cloying is used disapprovingly to describe something that is too sweet, pleasant, or sentimental. She finds most romantic comedies cloying and predictable. CLOYING. Cloying.
Glowing.
It's gonna be a difficult one, I think. So
Two syllables.
We'll try.
2 syllables.
Cloying.
Cloying.
Used
Cloying.
disapprovingly
Cloying.
to describe something. Yes.
All right, thank you, Justin.
Glowing.
And I wasn't sure if I was supposed to introduce the evaluator for the speaker. Do we usually do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
But table topic first.
technical topics. Thank you. Next, I'm going to introduce table topics. Thank you.
For table topics, it's a chance for members to speak 1 to 2 minutes on an extemporaneous topic. Wait, did I use that right? Extemporaneous? I don't know that I did.
Are you speaking?
We have to speak extemporaneously. So off the cuff. You don't know what I'm going to ask. Today, I'm going to use the cards that are over here. I'm going to make sure they're not recycled cards, so you're not going to know the question that I'm going to ask. And you, as Buffy said earlier, you have 1 to 2 minutes to do it. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Buffy. I'm sorry, Brandee.
That's okay. You can call me Buffy anytime. I like Buffy.
All right, and the last role I want to introduce is our evaluator for Brandee's speech.
It's a general evaluator.
Gen Ed.
Oh, the general evaluator.
General evaluator.
General
I knew it.
evaluator.
Okay. So
Yep.
general evaluator, back to you, bro.
Am I the general evaluator too?
Buffy was gonna fill
You
it.
gonna do the general evaluation?
Oh, that's right. Oh, my God. It's right here. All right.
We're all learning.
I can't read it. It's moving too much. The general evaluator. The purpose of the general evaluator is to evaluate everything that takes place throughout the meeting. During the meeting, I will take notes on everything that happens and that doesn't happen, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I will evaluate each participant on the meeting program and look for good examples of preparation, organization, delivery, enthusiasm, observation, and performance of duties. At the end of the meeting, I will give my report.
Thank you, Buffy.
Very well.
All right, with that said, let's get this rolling. I do want to say that when I first started Toastmasters, I used to get up here on the podium and my legs used to shake. So it's kind of cool because I'm starting to see the progress, you know, that I'm getting more comfortable. And that's kind of, yeah, that's kind of why we're here, right? So
Yeah.
just practice. So this is, like you said, this is my first Toastmaster experience and I feel good. So with that said, let's continue on.
Yay.
All right, so let's start with, we're gonna have Kim come up and introduce the speaker today.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and our guest today, which is okay. I am excited to introduce our first speaker, Brandee, who is stellar in my opinion. She's gonna do a speech on things I have learned from my best friends. Things I have learned from my best friend, Brandee.
Today, I want to share with you some important lessons that I learned from two of my very best friends, Carmen and Javier. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, I knew Carmen and Javi for many years. In fact, they both lived well into their 90s. In dog years, that is. Put some pictures of these two friends of mine up here. Carmen is the bigger golden dog. Javier is the smaller red dog. Carmen passed away about 3 years ago, and we lost Javi last month. I want to tell you a couple stories about each of them. So Carmen was a Corgi Golden Retriever. So she stood about 18 inches high, but she was a big dog. So one of the funny stories I like to tell about Carmen is we were out at Squaxin Park, which is a local park in the Olympia area. And she was in the water, and some folks that were visiting were standing by us. And she came out of the water and they were like, "Oh, that water's a lot shallower than we thought." She was only in a few inches of water, but they thought it was like a foot or a couple feet deep because she was so short. She was the best dog. We had some really great names for her. We called her Lowrider, Ottoman, Speed Bump. But all that aside, she was an amazing old soul. Now, Javier was a super mutt. We did his DNA test, and it said he was 22 breeds. 21 biggish dog breeds, and then throw in about 25% Chihuahua. So he was about 30 pounds. Now, he had FOMO, fear of missing out. So again, we were at a local park. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Gorilla Runners, but they're this runner group that go to different parks and they run. So they were running, and we looked around after they passed by. We're like, "Where did Javi go?" Javi went with them. He was like, "We're running." So we had to chase the running group down and be like, "Javi, no, you're with us. You're not running with the Gorilla Runners." He just always was wherever the party was. Javi wanted to be there. So I want to share with you some things that I learned from these two characters in my life. One, unconditional love. 2, loyalty. And 3, just stopping to smell the roses, just enjoying the small things. I'm in that busy part of my life where it's hard at the end of the day to have enough energy for everybody I love. But unconditional love is something that both of my dogs taught me. You know, when you come home and it doesn't matter if you've been gone for 1 minute or you've been gone for an hour, they're so happy to see you. Their tails are wagging, they're barking. It's like you're their whole life. And do we do that when our loved ones come in the door? Not really. So it's just that unconditional love, that just really loving a person. One thing that Javi did when we first got him was I like to sit crisscross applesauce on the floor. And he would just come up and sit on me with his 2 of his legs on one leg and his butt on the other and just be like, she's mine. And it was just this unconditional love, this thing that he and I did, even in his last few weeks of his life when he was really, really hobbly and couldn't, I'd kind of pick him up and help him do it so he could still sit on my lap. The second lesson is loyalty. Now, Carmen was the epitome of loyalty. We taught her to walk off leash. So she was just right by our side. We could walk downtown Olympia. We could stop at the crosswalk and she would just stop right there with us. She was so loyal, so sweet. And both dogs put up with the shenanigans of raising a baby and a toddler in our house. I don't know how many times they would be on their dog bed and they had all these stuffed animals all like around them. And they just put up with it. They were like, this is our family. This is our kid. We're going to put up with it. The third lesson is appreciation for the small things. Now, Carmen had to smell every smell on every walk. And it was so slow. And we would have a name for it. We'd call it Snifflist. Joe knows she's got a case of the Snifflist. She had to stop and smell everything. And then Javi, definitely towards the end of his life, he was just a slow guy. You know, he just was really, really working. And I would take the time when I would go on these slow walks with my dogs to just notice the details, smell the flowers. Oh, I never saw that plant growing there before. Oh, look, they must have got new siding on their house. Just appreciating, just slowing down, thinking of it as like a meditation. And one thing that Carmen would do is like, if there was something on that smelled good on the grass, she'd just roll and roll and just the happiest dog. I would just let her do it. Sometimes I would get impatient and I would pull her and she would just slide with the leash while she was rolling on her back. One last thing that the dogs would do that was appreciation for the small thing was at night they would get their little treats, their little toothbrush treats. And I would be so excited for the toothbrush treats. And I'd give it to them. And they'd take it and they both run off to different sides of the room. And they're like, oh my gosh, it's like the best thing in the world is this toothbrush treat. And I was just like, wow, that toothbrush treat just made their entire night. Talk about appreciation for the small things. So when your lives get busy and stressful, just think about these lessons that we can learn from our little furry friends. Appreciation for the small things, love, unconditional love, and loyalty. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
All right, Brandee, thank you for sharing that. Appreciate that because I have a dog too, and my dog is 10 years old. And I didn't ask, how old was your dogs?
16 and 14 when they passed.
16 and 14.
Mhm.
So my dog's 10 years old. And lately, like recently, I've been like kind of like knowing that she's coming to the end of her life.
Mhm.
So I mean, because it happens, right? So like I let her get away with a lot more things than I usually do. So and I feel kind of guilty of like not taking her for a walk. I was like, okay, let's go for a walk, give her a little bit more pets because just, dogs are loyal too. So the dogs will come to you. They always want pets and stuff. And I feel like I'm kind of feel guilty of, I just kind of want to pet them a little bit longer because you never know. So we did have a scare this summer that we thought we was going to lose her, but thankfully she's around. So hopefully we have her for a couple more years. So, but I appreciate the story. That was very timely for my situation. So I appreciate that. All right, so moving on and back to you because we are doing table topics.
All right,
All right, let's do it.
let's do it. Table topics are fun when you don't know the question. Wait, who wants to go first? Justin?
I'll go.
Kim?
No.
You call Justin. You.
Okay. When you were young, what did you want to be when you grew up? When you were young, what did you want to be when you grew up? Justin?
Thank you. That all depends on what age. What age is this? Boy, that could mean anything, because so many things have changed over the years. When you're young, what do you want to be like? I don't know. Anybody watch Looney Tunes? Bugs Bunny fun? Live in a hole in the ground? I always thought about that. Wouldn't that be cool to just live underground and pop up wherever you want? When you're 6, I don't want to live underground now, but that was cool back then. Or how about the Roadrunner? He was so fast. I remember those cartoons. I want to be that. I want to be so fast. And the Coyote, he's always tricking him with this Acme stuff. And I don't buy Acme, but the Coyote always got caught in this stuff. So that's pretty. I remember those things. I wish I was so fast. Or the Tasmanian Devil. I don't know if anybody remembers the Tasmanian Devil. Same thing. He's super fast, destroys anything in his plate. He gets in his way. That's the type of stuff I wanted to be when I was really young. And now I'm an adult. It's like, why would I even think of that stuff? That's kind of foolish stuff to be thinking about what to be, but that was me back then. Over the years, things have changed. But that's what came into my mind immediately when you asked when I was young. That's just popped in my head today. So there you go. How about Bugs Bunny? The Roadrunner, the Tasmanian Devil.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
All right.
Probably a pretty challenging kid.
I like it. I was thinking of Popeye the Sailor Man.
I forgot about him. Yes,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
yeah, I like
You
that.
can speak spinach.
Did not make the spinach taste better though.
No.
I tried it.
Canned spinach is blah. Wait, no bueno. All right. Kim? Oh, this is kind of timely with your from last week. Which is more important, the respect of your children or your parents? Which is more important, the respect of your children or your parents?
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. That is a very difficult question. At this current stage in my life, I think the respect of my children. The reason for that is because in the Asian culture, you've already respected your elders, and so that's built into me. So I don't have to work as hard. It's been brainwashed and trained as I'm growing up by my parents. And so I'm not focused on that as much now as I'm trying to pass on that respect aspect of understanding and growing and developing as they're young. I would definitely want my children to respect me so that they understand their role and responsibility, what's the right thing to say, what's not the right thing to say, and what's good and bad. So I think it's more important at this stage in my life to have my children respect me. Back to you.
I know I had to think about that too. How would I answer that? I agree with you. Like, I think that relationship with your kids is going to be for the rest of your life anyway. If nature goes the way it should be. All right. I'm picking out something for Buffy or Dawn. All right, Buffy. Ooh, this is a pretty good one. What's the most beautiful place you've ever seen? What's the most beautiful place you've ever seen?
Thank you, Madam Topics Master. What is the most beautiful place I've ever seen? Well, I think that's very conditional. That's a very conditional question for me. The most beautiful place might be my bed when I'm tired at the end of the day. Oh,
Yeah.
that's gonna be heaven. Or the hot bath when I'm sore and achy. Um, that's a Yeah, it's a very conditional question. I think in terms of the literal question, what's the most beautiful place? Probably after a long journey to our summer place in Michigan, walking out of the front door of the cabin, and there you are, and there's the little boardwalk, and there's the beach, and there's Lake Superior. And I lean on the railing and I watch the waves, and that is my happy, happy, happy place. That I could gaze at that horizon, endless horizon, and soak in the sun, and just that is my happiest place, the most beautiful for me. And the fact that it's mostly pristine and mostly still an untouched beauty is heartwarming and delightful. And yeah, it just lives. I could probably be teleported there. If I thought about it hard enough, you'd see me appear on the beach, just magically, because I can feel it and sense it so fully. That's my most beautiful place. That in the bed. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. When you said your bed, I was like, oh, that's what I've been like lately. If the window's cracked a little and then your husband has just changed the sheets and they're like fresh sheets and you're so tired. Oh, the smell of those sheets. All right. Dawn, did you
Yes.
want to give it a shot?
Do it.
All right. Oh, oh. Who are your role models, Dawn? Dawn, who are your role models?
I've had this before.
Have you?
Interesting enough, yeah.
You want a different one?
Yes, please.
Okay.
If I may.
mean, if you've already had it, right?
Yeah, that's so weird.
Right? Okay. I was like trying to keep them out and put them on the end and grabbing from the middle. Okay. What song evokes the strongest memories for you?
Ooh,
What song?
perfect opportunity
evokes
to
the
use the word
strongest
Floyd.
memories? Mm.
Thank you for that one. Thinking. Let's go. A change is gonna come from Sam Cooke.
Mm.
I don't know why that came to mind, but that is a very good song, especially in like times of like, like hard times. That song means so much. I mean, just listening to that song, I mean, there's so much emotions that pour out when you're thinking about, because we're all going through changes at any point of our lives. So um, that song pretty much resonates with me. And I don't know why that first was the song that first came up, but but it's very interesting. I love everything about like like 50s and 60s. So that's like my jam when it comes to like music in the era. So um yeah, Change is Gonna Come is probably a song that comes to mind. And with that, I'm gonna pass it on.
All right. Thank you. How are we good? Oh, we've got time for a couple more. You
You want to do one?
Sure. Someone want to come up here and pick a card for me?
Toastmaster has it.
If you won the lottery, what is the first thing you would do?
The first thing I would do?
Yes.
Oh, won the lottery, the first thing I would
Joy.
Oh, there's so many things I would do. So many things I would do if I won the lottery, but what's the first thing I would do? Well, the very first thing I would do would be to call my husband and be like, "Pack your bags." Then I think this is just coming to mind. I would go to the bank if I could. Well, maybe I would just go to, because I don't know if I could access the money from the lottery right away, but maybe I would go to my bank and get money that I had for like rent or, mortgage or whatever, get a bunch of money out and then like go downtown and all the people I saw that like they were having a hard time, I would just give them like $500.
Yeah.
Just go around giving people money. I just think that would just feel so amazing. Maybe then I would go to a restaurant and get the market price of the most expensive slab of tofu I could find. Because I'm a vegan. I was like, I could get the market price lobster. No, I would take my family out to a really expensive dinner, and then we would talk about all the different ways that we would make the world a better place and make sure that we were taken care of in life. So, I'll turn it back to myself. Right? We've all had that, though. Right? We all imagine that if we win the lottery.
Mhm.
And then, of course, we're going to give half of it away, right? Because they'll be more likely that we'll win that way. Okay, does anybody feel like they want to do a second one, and that could be our last one?
I'll go.
Justin?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, let's do this. What do you complain about more than anything else? What do you complain about more than anything else?
These are good questions.
I want this one.
Complains about. Else. Flat tires. Flat I haven't had one thankfully recently, but it does depend. Right now, the rain and gloomy weather, I feel like God just has me in this Pacific Northwest. I tried to leave when I was younger and I keep coming back, but I'm thankful. I try to have a grateful heart. It's a nice place to live. It's beautiful here. Lots of trees, clean water, plenty of fresh air. You go to some places, I've heard in Central Oregon, it's like got smog coming in and they're banning fires because of poor air quality. Same happens when I grew up in Boise. Called the Treasure Valley because it's a valley and the air sometimes gets stuck where it gets really smoggy and nasty out in the winter because it doesn't have that exchange. So this time of year, I complain about the rain and the gloominess and the cold. But thankfully, I've really been happy lately because it's been nice. It hasn't been cold. We've had some good weather. It's somewhat nice out. It's a little cloudy, but it's better than the rain and doom and all that. I would say that is one thing I complain about the most about our region that I have to check myself on and just be grateful that, hey, this is not a bad place to be. And some places you go to Arizona and it's hot and dry. They have no water. There's water restrictions, stuff like that. And we don't have that here. We have a lot of good things. We don't have big spiders and snakes that will eat me and kill me. A lot of good things here.
Mhm.
It can be great.
All right.
Sounds like Justin has a tendency to not complain a lot.
Yeah. Wouldn't say that.
He seems to be an optimistic person.
Optimistic, yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Beautiful.
You find the silver linings and things.
Cha-ching, yeah.
And not to be cloying or annoying,
Also-
but I think at this point, I'm going to turn it back over to our Toastmaster and thank you all for playing. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Brandee. I must admit, okay, I did not say the card that I pulled. I freestyled that with the lottery, so I was like, I'm gonna change it out last minute.
Okay.
So, but it would have been if you decided to go on a spiritual journey, where would you go and what would you do?
Oh.
I don't know. The lottery's more interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh,
You would
yeah.
handle that.
Yeah.
Depends on if I won the lottery or not.
Right? But you did that so well. Like I had no idea that you changed that.
Seamless, yeah.
That was seamless. Yeah. Well done.
Thank you.
I like that one next. Give that one to me next time. Okay, Don.
Which one? The lottery one or the spiritual one?
I need more than 2 minutes though.
Topic, yeah, there you go.
Mhm.
All right, guys, at this point, I think we're time for evaluator, right? I'm just making sure, yep, evaluator. So I'm gonna have Kim come back up and you're gonna do your evaluation on Brandee's speech.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mr. Toastmasters, fellow members. And thank you, Brandee, for a very fun and very elegant story about your friends, your two friends. I'm gonna go off of the good, better, best, and a couple things that we need that valuation of your speech. Start off with the good. I like I like how you started the speech itself by making a statement and then kind of jumping in and then kind of changing your tone and approaching the audience by saying, um, oh gosh, how do I explain that? There's a way where you said this is my friend, and then you're introducing yourself. That's what I meant. Introducing yourself, ladies and gentlemen, blah blah blah, and then you have the picture. So I thought that was really cool of your dog. That you had a picture there. That was a good start. It caught my attention. The better portion. You had so many tone, voice inflections. Like you're owning the stage over here. Your body language, all the acting out that you did. It's to me those kind of cue physical appearance just are eye drawns to me. So I was watching everything that you did with the dogs and the experience that you had. So I thought that was a better part of your speech. And the best, of course, is wrapping that all together with what your speech is all about, which is the three things that you highlighted: the loyalty, unconditional love, and appreciation. And you had example for each individual one. So it actually wrapped the speech together for me. And I appreciate that because it didn't, then it would have left the speech title and everything else not with a good ending. Couple things I noticed could work on. You uh snapped your lips a couple times. I think that was mentioned. Just like this when you're transitioning. And this is nitpicky, but I think you said you did a DNA test, and I think you said ZNA test, unless there is such a thing as a ZNA test that I'm not aware of. I thought I heard ZNA, and I was like, ZNA. So, and one thing, this is also nitpicky, I believe, on my part, because I was going off of structure, and I'm really a structured person when it comes to some of this stuff. Is you mentioned these three things,
Mhm.
and I think when you said loyalty, and then you went off the example, you swapped up. So I think you started with the loyalty first and unconditional, and then appreciating small things. And I think it threw me off because it went out of order of how you listed. Does that make sense?
It was out of order at the end.
Yeah.
I realized, I was like, oh, I went out of order.
But that was just a flow thing.
Mhm.
Other than that, it was amazing. It was comedic, and I loved it. Thank you for sharing that story. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Kim. All right, great evaluation, Kim. All right, so I'm gonna move this over to the general evaluator. And
Oh, boy.
it is Buffy.
Okay. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this in a coherent way. Thank you, sir. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, we'll do this.
Yeah, do that.
There we
Yeah,
go.
yeah, there we go.
All right. So the meeting started on time, except for Brandee had to go to the bathroom, so a minute late, but we were ready on time. Everything was put together and pulled together and set up very nicely. The Toastmaster very efficiently made sure all the roles were taken, and we were all said yes to multiple roles as needed. We were introduced appropriately. I'm saying 75 times because I want to. I will something. I'll remember it later. There was one thing I thought we didn't do that would have been appropriate. It has not stuck to my head like a cloying smell, so that is it's just disappeared. Did the evaluator properly introduce the R counter? So do I do that part?
So you're gonna introduce the timer, which is yourself,
Timer is myself. Okay,
and
I
give the report.
have that written down. I shall introduce my timer. Timer. And so Brandee, your talk was 6 minutes and 36 seconds. Justin, for the table topics, you were at 119. Kim, you were at 110. I was at 148. Don was at 104. Brandee was at 130, and Justin, their second talk was 138.
All right.
Anything else?
And you're past the Alderman.
I'm passing this on to
Justin.
Justin. Thank goodness, because I've gotten lost. Well, that's your pen. All right.
Whoop, whoop.
Hey,
What was it I wanted to
give
say?
my grammarian report. You start with Don. Don, I counted 3 so's, 3 so's, 5 1 you know. Good word usage, feel guilty. Scare this summer, timely, hard times. Didn't catch any bad word usage, so nice job. Buffy, you had 1 word of the day.
Whoop,
1 so, 4 2 us. Good word, actually 1 bad usage. Oh shoot. Place.
Oh, sorry.
Good word usage, timing device. You're looking for your timing device. Conditional, sore and achy. Gaze at endless horizon. Pristine, teleported, seamless, coherent, efficiently, appropriate.
Ah.
Brandee, 1 word of the day.
Whoop, whoop.
I counted 4 so's, 1 you know, 2 likes. Some forward usage. I noticed you stumbled on folks were, and you had to double that. Good word usage, important lessons, well into their 90s, dog years. Off the cuff, amazing old souls, super mutt, unconditional love, stop and smell the roses, hobbly, epitome of loyalty. Sorry, that's a phrase. Shenanigans, sniffless, and notice the details. And then last I have Kim. 1 and so, 1 kinda, 1 1 gosh. And I have a double that and a double I like. Good word usage, stellar, current stage of life, brainwashed, elegant, caught my attention, voice inflections, wrap the speech together, and nitpicky. That is my report. That it?
That is it. Thank you for your report.
That was it. That was what it was.
What
I
was it?
remembered what it was. That we didn't agree what how we were going to.
I was just going to bring that up. I'm glad you said that
Yeah.
because since our mishap last week with the Pittsburgh, and I've been watching everyone, you know, and it's kept on switching. So
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
noticed that maybe we should agree on which one we're going to do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a good point. Yeah.
It's kind of like one of those like so
Yeah.
That can be one of those things. Was everyone properly introduced? Sort of that the Toastmaster can at the very beginning. This is the theme of this meeting. We're going to do it this way.
Right.
Mhm.
And I honestly, I had an opinion on it. I like the fist bump because obviously
Right.
it's cleaner, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And if we just agreed as a club,
Yeah.
fist bumps, you know.
Yeah.
We're not that professional yet. I don't think that we want to. Just my
Yeah,
opinion.
I'm good with that.
Yeah. I think it was
We'll
a,
put it in the policy brosure.
yeah. We fist bump here. If you like to shake hands.
Yeah, you gotta go to the other club. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that happened because of COVID.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and then like, you know, there was at least one meeting where I know I was getting over a cold and I didn't want to shake people's hand, you know, just didn't want to spread my germs just in case. So,
Fair enough.
all right.
We have a new level of awareness about those things. than
Yeah.
Before it's like before I just sneeze into the room and now you're like,
Uh-huh. Everyone's like, go home.
did that person cough?
Until their work's not being done, they're like, where are they? They need to be here.
Mhm.
They're sick.
All right, guys, so now is the time that let's sign up for some roles for next week. Anyone want to volunteer a role?
I'm gonna